Shams, how is the NBA going? Are we off to a great start? Would Adam Silver say that? Or what's the conversation about the NBA right now? I saw LeBron had a bad shooting night last night. I saw that. That's not good. How is the NBA start to the season, Shams?
I mean, Lakers, Suns, they're off to 3-1 starts. Oklahoma City Thunder have been off to a stellar start. They look like championship contenders. Boston Celtics, BC Celtics, they look like they're right on track. Then you have a few teams that are somewhat disappointing, whether you think about Milwaukee, Denver, they got to get their stuff in order as well. So I think when you look at the league right now, where Adam Silver's league is right now, it's a lot of parity. You look at both conferences, you have about 6-7 teams that genuinely feel like they're competing for a championship, and we'll see where they end up come playoff time.
Okay, obviously, the Boston Celtics are different than everybody else.
That's right.
This is kind of what happened last year. Everybody's like, we'll talk about the Boston Celtics whenever we get to the playoff because they're better than anybody. Then you didn't talk about the Boston Celtics in playoffs. So that led to Boston Celtics fans and players saying, they don't even acknowledge us.
Yeah, ever.
And we're the best team in basketball. We would like to let the Boston Celtics fans know we have a masshole on the team.
And I got the trophy.
And he will talk a lot. Now, there's some questions, though. Is there not about the Celtics?
Yeah, I'm still undefeated, but we are playing without Kristaps Porzingis. Now, I do think that the NBA doesn't want him to play just because if he does, then the Celtics are going to win every game by 40-plus points, and that's not very fun for anybody. But what is his status right now, and is he going to be back January like we were saying before the season, or where is he at with his injury?
The Celtics are targeting December, from what I'm told, for Kristaps Porzingis and his return. And there was video I was seeing last night of him warming up before the game. He has not progressed to contact yet. But BC, if you're watching this video, you're probably licking your chops. You're getting ready for Kristaps Porzingis to be back in the lineup. He looks really, really good. And I think if this wasn't a Celtics team that has the best starting lineup to me in the NBA, they've got the number one starting five in the league, for sure. If they didn't have that, if they didn't have the luxury of being where they're at now, maybe you're a little bit more pressed to bring KP back. But they have the luxury of having to be patient. They can wait. They don't necessarily need to rush him back at all. If it ends up taking until January, it takes until January. But right now, they're targeting December. It could even be earlier, but right now they're really focused on that month. He has to progress to contact. And what I'm told, this is where his return will be based on. The Celtics have a program for him. Essentially, once he's hit the metrics on his body, his different body parts and different elements, they're essentially measuring parts of his body. And once, whether it's his calf, his leg, his knee, all
legs, all knees.
Nice. Just lower body?
NBA? He just had this kind of traumatic leg injury. Essentially, once his body and those muscle groups are all balanced, and he's hit those thresholds, he will be cleared for return. But the Celtics will be patient. They'll want to make sure he's 100% healthy. Until he reaches those metrics, he won't be back. But they're very optimistic that will be at some point.
Yeah, a group of Caucasian dudes in that conversation is obviously going to take it a certain way. I mean, that's 100% honest. But thank you for clarifying what Porzingis has to do to pass. His body parts have to pass a program.
Sure.
And then once
they've got metrics on all these muscle groups in his body.
Oh, really?
Once he reaches those metrics, he will be cleared for return.
How's
that
the
is
blood
the program
pumping?
I'm told.
How are they all hanging?
Good luck, brother.
Yeah.
Well is the answer.
Yeah, I'd assume. Good luck to Porzingis on all these metrics, on all body parts.
That's right. Get him back to 110%.
Absolutely. Yeah. Maybe. Speaking of body parts, we're resting them, apparently. Go ahead, D-Butt.
Yeah, speaking of getting to 110%, Joel Embiid started off the season. Obviously, we know what he did this offseason, won a gold medal with Team USA, but haven't shown up, hasn't played yet. I heard there's been some type of investigation going on with the NBA, with the Sixers. What's going on with that, Shams?
The investigation is ongoing. I would expect a result at some point here in the near future. There's really two sides of this, DB. One is the Joel Embiid side, which is that he has never had a healthy playoff run, and he's always gotten hurt come playoff time. And this is really a new strategy the Sixers and Joel Embiid are taking on, which is essentially, and I reported this plenty of times, this is the new normal for Joel Embiid. Periodic time off over the course of the season. He's going to routine checkups on his knee, his foot, any other body part that acts up. And that will be a part of the season for him. On the other hand, from the NBA perspective, there's no specific injury that the Sixers have cited. So when you think about Kawhi Leonard, when you think about Chris Middleton, Kawhi Leonard has a serious right knee inflammation issue. Chris Middleton is coming off double ankle surgeries. And so there are specific injuries that you can define. They're black and white. Here in this Joel Embiid situation, the Sixers have said there's no injury here. He's actually lost 20, 25 pounds. He's in great shape. There's no re-injury.
Sure.
So from the NBA's perspective and people around the league is, what's the issue with Joel Embiid? He just is not in shape. He hasn't practiced or played all training camp. So it would be malpractice if the Sixers threw him out there. It would lead to injury. But the other side is he hasn't played. In my opinion, just looking at this situation, clearly this is where Joel Embiid feels like he needs to be in order to be healthy come playoff time. And let's see. That's when he needs to be healthy. That's when the Sixers need him to be healthy. But there's a flip side to all this, and that's the league's perspective and everyone that inhabits the league office.
Yeah, because he's big star. He's a big star. He's a United States American gold medalist.
Former league MVP, all NBA player, gold medalist. He is one of the elite names in the NBA. He's one of the elite players in the NBA, a guy that obviously fans want to see.
Godspeed, Embiid. Like to see you out there.
Good luck.
Love to see you out there.
We want to see Joel Embiid healthy come playoff time, though, right? Like, we want to see him, PG, and Maxey. I don't know about BC. BC might be ready for the challenge, though.
BC thinks the Celtics are just going to stomp everybody. No, he doesn't know about these Pacers who are getting hot. Okay,
Pacers that the Celtics swept last year.
We'll see you on Wednesday night. Okay,
Yeah,
we'll see you on Wednesday night. But last night, Pacers obviously had a situation. AJ, if you would like to ask Shams a question, pal.
Shams, yeah, the former Duke star Paolo Banchero, what, he goes for 50. Are we looking at another face of the league here, and is this going to continue on this hot streak?
Paolo Banchero is 1,000% one of the young faces of the NBA. I mean, this guy is an all-around star. He became the youngest player since LeBron James to have this stat line: 50 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists. What he was able to do last night, I mean, he is a star right now. He's on the rise. And I think when you think about his all-around game, he's one of the best players in the NBA when you think about the forward position. And I think when you think about Orlando, Banchero, Franz Wagner, Jalen Suggs, they just gave a $150.5 million contract extension to. Franz Wagner's on a max deal. This is Orlando we're talking about. Paolo Banchero is the next player that they're going to have to shell a lot of money out to very, very soon. He is their face. He's their cornerstone, and he's certainly one of the young faces of the NBA.
Banchero, you're saying multiple times, trying to tell us it's not Banchero, I do believe, which we appreciate. Congrats to Paulo on having a hell of a night. Only 12 in the second half, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, just
locked
I got to push him more. Well, I feel like we don't hear enough about him. Number one pick.
Orlando, right? That's
yeah, I
probably
mean, but damn, he's been he was good. He's been good since stepping foot in his league.
Sweet name.
Well, they called him. What was it? They called him Pat Mahomes at that FG1 race.
Yeah, I think last night was the most famous he's been since they mistook him for Pat Mahomes.
Well, way to go, Paulo.
Oh yeah, Paulo.
Hey, Paulo. Speaking of faces of the NBA, Ty has a question for you.
Yeah, Shams, just curious, what has the reaction around the NBA been to the Starting Five documentary? Because watching that, like, we loved the quarterback documentary on Netflix, and I think, obviously diehard basketball fans will love it, but I think even casual fans, like, the access you get from that is incredible. What has been the reaction, and are more guys like looking to maybe potentially do that?
Yeah, I mean, when I talk to teams, they're certainly watching. People are certainly watching because you are getting this behind the scenes look. You see Ant Edwards leaving a game, and his kid he has a kid, and his girl is going into labor. You have Jimmy Butler. They showed some pretty emotional scenes where he's dealing with his sick father who ended up passing away. You have all these behind-the-scenes footages. Jason Tatum, the behind-the-scenes of him winning a championship. And then LeBron James, we don't usually see him in this documentary format. So people are certainly watching. But Pat, guys, Ty, I actually have news for you guys. So we know the Season 1 cast. It was LeBron James, Jason Tatum, Anthony Edwards, DeMontis Sabonis, Jimmy Butler. Mm-hmm. The Season 2 cast I do have. I have it confirmed for you guys.
Okay.
Starting 5. Season 2, Netflix. Kevin Durant.
What?
James Harden.
Whoa.
Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
Oh.
BC's guy, Jaylen Brown. Number 4. And number 5, this is the one that I know is going to get the Thunderdome amped up and ready to go. Tyrese Halliburton.
Let's go! Not
is
Luka
the final member of the Starting 5 on
Yes.
Netflix Season 2. They are taping. Again, this is produced by LeBron James's company, Spring Hill, Barack Obama's company, Higher Ground, and Peyton Manning's company, Omaha Productions. They are leading the productions of this show for Netflix, and that is the starting five. I don't know if we've ever seen Kevin Durant in this space or James Harden, two very private players and people, and now we got Jaylen Brown in the mix, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander having his come-out party, and Tyrese Halliburton. A lot of attention for Tyrese Halliburton in Indy. He was on the Olympic team. Now he's on starting five on Netflix season 2.
Listen, if I can get to learn about the Durantula off the court, I'm in. James Harden, yeah, absolutely. I'd like to know a little bit more about. Because whenever he walked out of that hotel with Lil Baby, I believe, and they ran into that paparazzi, and he had the same look on his face that I have a couple times when I've walked out of potential meetings or something like that and didn't expect people to be there in the state of mind that I became a big fan. Tyrese Halliburton, electrifying. Like, he's a wrestling fan, so obviously he has an entertaining personality. And then Jaylen Brown. What are you mad about? Why'd you thumbs down?
No, I'm pumped about it, very much so. We just got Tatum as well. It's kind of like, hey, I don't want to force feed everyone the Celtics. I think Jaylen Brown's probably... Who's
going to be more entertaining is what I want to know. Who's going to be the more entertaining one? Jaylen Brown or Jason Tatum?
Yeah, James Harden.
Between those two?
Are they following him in the offseason too or just regular season? Because James
they
Harden
just started taping to
matter?
start the season.
I think James Harden basketball.
Season up until the end of the season.
Yeah.
Oh, you're saying James Harden doesn't know if it's off season?
No,
that's 365, brother.
Make sure you're with him when they got a road trip in Houston.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. I would like James Harden's the one I'm most intrigued about. I would like that. Now, the Durantula, given some, like I've heard when we went down to Texas for the football team, I went over to the basketball facility that I think he donated, like a massive piece of it too. Talked to the equipment manager down there, and they talked about some of the workouts that Kevin Durant does. And it's not like how many made threes. It's like the sound of the net with the ball going through it in a row. Like, I want to hear that pop like 50 straight times. And if he gets like 40 straight, stops. If it's like 41 and there's like a little clank of it, it's like, start it again. Like, his work ethic, I guess, is just absurd. I assume everybody that's a professional athlete. You would think, you would hope.
Him off the court too. His business moves.
Yeah, he's got to be a billionaire close to it with everything he's got going on. Thank you for allowing the access, Mr. KD and James Harden.
Hopefully they show how SGA puts together his Instagram captions, because that's like another big thing is he does these like sick raps on Instagram.
Like Cam Newton?
Captions. No, way cooler. And
I don't know.
Yeah,
he's got his own language.
If you pull up, so does SGA, and they come in the form of bars.
Well, yeah, it's Canadian. They have their own language.
No, there's.
Are we going to get the behind the scenes of when the shout out to 50 Cent was taped, or
what up?
Hopefully they're there.
Be part of this.
Happy birthday, Fifth. Is that what you're talking about? Happy birthday, Fifth. Is that what you're?
There's a few videos out there. I don't know which one, but
okay,
we're going to get a lot of behind the scenes.
Big Puma.
We're going to get a lot of behind the scenes.
Life.
Big Puma deal. Shout out
deal.
to 50 Cent. Indy's popping right now. It's must say.
Yeah.
Jungle.
Yeah, bub. It is. All right, let's talk. Congrats on Netflix having another season. That'll be interesting, too, because I think the names are what drive the interest. Those are massive names. Can't wait to watch it. Congrats to all parties. Can't wait to learn. Tevin Diggs has a question about a big name.
Sham's another massive name. Steph went down with a lower body. What's the update on Steph? When's he going to be back? Is it serious? What are we dealing with?
Yeah, this body part is the ankle/foot. It's called the peroneal strain.
Yeah.
Essentially a foot-ankle issue around his ankle, around his foot, kind of a tendon situation. He's dealing with some swelling. He's dealing with pain. And so he's got to manage that, get that mobility back in that ankle foot. He's going to be reevaluated on Friday. But around him, the sense is this could be an injury that goes about a week, and that would put him at early next week, maybe up to 2 weeks. That's the sense around the injury itself. But the Warriors and Stephen Curry, they're just taking this day by day. They want to see how he feels, how he's managing that swelling. And they're going to be cautious. It's still very early in the season. You don't want to rush Stephen Curry back on the floor. They have a 5-game road trip that they're going to start this weekend from November 2 to November 10. And once that period starts and is underway, you don't really want to rush him out there for a 1-game or 2-game stint. You want him to get right early in the year. He is dealing with some pain and some swelling. Once that subsides, we'll see Stephen Curry return. But the good news is there was nothing major here. There was no major damage to that ankle or that foot. just something he does have to manage over the next few days, week or so.
Okay, I think we went down briefly there on ESPN. We remained live on YouTube. We had a little bit of a power surge because what you were talking about was so damn great, Sean.
Mm-hmm.
We need you talking more, pal. We need you. You sent a power surge through the Thunderdome, I do believe.
Yeah.
And ESPN rack went down. It popped back up. We are live. That is good news, but we certainly are now live in a commercial I think they went to. We remain live on YouTube, which is obviously... How's that work?
I don't know.
It doesn't make any sense.
Well, the way it's set up, actually, you see there's a feed here, and then there's a feed there, and then there's multiple feeds there, and then they have their thing, and then we have our thing, and then our thing and their thing sometimes don't dance, especially when a power surge comes through named Charania, and it breaks it apart.
Yeah.
So hopefully they're able to redo it. Shams, too much power out of you. And for Steph Curry, can't wait to see him back. NBA season going to be great, it feels like, right? Is there going to be moves, or do you think this is going to be a season where a lot of big-time players are going to end up changing teams, or no?
I mean, there are players that teams have their eye on, right? When you think about two players that could become free agents this offseason, that's Brandon Ingram, that's Jimmy Butler. Where are their futures at? Ingram has this season left on his deal. He's going to be a free agent potentially. He did not extend with the Pelicans. What does that lead for his future? Right now, he's in New Orleans. They want to see how him, DeJounte Murray, Zion Williamson, and that team, CJ McCollum, how that team looks this year before they make any judgments. And then on the other side, Jimmy Butler, he's got a player option for next season. And any player going into the last year of his deal with a player option, you're either going to do an extension, which he's not going to do as of right now in Miami, or it's going to work. It's going to work out, and then you just go into free agency. Or if it doesn't work out, could they look for a move? So those dominoes, all we'll see where they land over the next few months. And then there's going to be other players that pop up. But definitely, as far as the trade market, those are two names we just have to keep an eye on over the course of the season.
Hell yeah, we can't thank you enough. How you enjoying your time as senior NBA insider, pal?
Figuring it all out, but one thing I know is I can always come on here and we can break some bread and have some conversation.
We appreciate you making time for us.
Oh, yeah.
You know, we appreciate you making time for us. We know the schedule is hectic during the NBA season. The fact that you're still able to join us while being a part of the ESPN NBA crew, we're very thankful for. Go ahead, comment.
Yeah, Shams, any update on the D. Wade statue? Are they going to tear that thing down and build a new one?
I think Dwayne Wade was very, very involved with the statue, and I don't think that they're going to do anything with it. I think he was very involved. I think both sides signed off on it, and I think that's where they're going to move forward with, is that statue. Okay. But, I think it's interesting. When you look at it, does it look exactly like him? Of course not. But, this is a statue. If you look deeper, though, 5, 10, 15 years.
It looks like him.
I mean, if
in 5, 10, 15 years, it's gonna blend.
They did 50-year-old D Wade.
Yeah, so this
it'll
is for
blend
the future.
in.
Got it. It was a future sculpt.
No, but it'll just blend in. It'll just be nice, and you'll see. Statues are meant to age. As far as you look at it, 20, 30, 40 years from now, this is going to be something that we're going to see.
Right, that's the thing is the statues don't age.
That salt water in the air.
Yeah.
Oh, Sean.
So they're not going to power wash this thing? They're not going to power wash the dust off of this thing? You think it's going to... Anyways, if you look closely, you can see it in the eyes.
It looks like D-Wade. It looks like D-Wade. If you look a little close.
Yeah, he's got a jersey on.
That's his jersey.
Yeah, I've seen an old picture that kind of looks.
I've seen him put this too.
Yeah, for sure.
That represents a moment in time. Yeah.
Yeah, and I saw him on Today's Show. Did a one-on-one interview.
Nice.
That's right.
He said, bring babies out of the hospital, bring them a statue. Get engaged right in front of the statue.
Yeah.
Get married right in front of the statue. Wouldn't this be a place of celebration? Because that's what the Miami Heat, kind of.
Shout out to D-Wade. DB. Shout out to D-Wade.
Hell yeah, Flash.
Yeah, of course.
That's our guy, man. Best player in the world in 2006. Obviously, Heatles, part of the Heatles. One of the favorite athletes I grew up watching, so shout out to 3 for sure.
Hey, way to go, Dwayne. You deserve it.
He's happy about the statue. He talked about it since.
Him and his boy didn't look too happy when they first unveiled it.
That was a private conversation between their eyes.
Oh, okay. Well, that's the only thing that really looks like him is the eyes of the statue. But moving forward, we think that he will grow into looking more like it, which is why statues are forever.
Exactly.
We appreciate you, Shams. You're the man.
Appreciate y'all.
Ladies and gentlemen, Shams Charania.
Try to boast at what I look like. Think I'm gonna try to wear, I pull up all range. Jimmy with the heat, I'm on fire. It's NBA over here, feeling fun.